All right. Yes, it's really me this time. Okay. Let me try to get logged into the Restream chat just so that I can have everything plugged in and put together. We had to change some. Change some login information, and so I get to be kind of part of this renovation of passing of words. All right. Whew. We are good and we are ready. All right. Welcome. It has been a while since I have streamed myself. So I'm not entirely sure, not 100% sure what I'll choose to do today, but we'll see. What happened? Well, earlier today there was a funny stream, not a funny stream. There's a it seemed like a personal stream kind of coming through in my name. So it's just kind of it's just something to kind of laugh about and whatnot. Obviously I didn't understand what was going on. One of my friends went through and told me about it, so that's kind of how I learned about it, and it's not a big deal anymore. It's just something to kind of let go of, let it roll off. Okay, so we are really here, we are really live, and let us see what we can do. Okay, cool. I'm going to start off. Let's go ahead and say characters for fun. So I've got all sorts of things that I could go ahead and dive into. I'm just trying to yeah, it's part of the past now, exactly. There are all sorts of things that I kind of want to work on, but I'm not 100% sure. So for instance, let's I'm gonna open this up so I can show you. Open a new window. Okay, so for instance, I have this storm model that I did a while back. I thought about going through and doing a Wolverine, like going through and doing my own versions of like the X-Men and whatnot. That could be fun. Okay, so that's an option. I have I have this Ronald McBuda that I did that is really kind of fun. I may or may not do it. Let me see. Lady Liberty. I've got McLear. I do love this character. I think he's super fun. In case you guys need to remember who he is, we were working on this guy. Iron Man in my stream. Awesome. Welcome. Yeah, Ronald McBuda. But yeah, I really like this guy. I really like how he's going. So he's an option. And just so we can see kind of where Lady Liberty is at currently. I think this is the most recent for her. Okay, kind of cool. I like the face. I have a lot left to do on the clothes to make sure that works. Let me see. In fact, maybe what I ought to do. Let's go ahead. Oh, that's an idea. Let's go ahead and let's pull out Pure Ref, and I'll just start kind of pulling things into Pure Ref so we can decide, and I'll let you guys kind of vote on it and weigh in. Got Ronald McBuda. Ah, shoot. Let's go ahead and close that because we don't need it open. This one's fun. This one's fun. These are designs that friends did. This one is done by Jenna. I'm trying to remember her last name. Jenna Hamzawi, I think is her last name. Friend from school. I think she's working for Cartoon Network now. Hey Leonard, how you doing? And then this one is done by Scott. Oh, Scott's last name. Scott. I forget Scott's last name. Shoot. I'll have to go back and kind of try to remember, but this one could be a fun one. Let me see. We got McLear. Let's grab McLear. So we can kind of remember that. Oh, and here's one too. Something that I kind of started during the beta. Oh, that could be cool too. Oh, okay. So here's one. It's a design done by Ross Tran. I've done Ross Tran's stuff before. If you remember, oh shoot, let me see. Cancel, minimize. You remember the Pink Witch? This Pink Witch was done based off of Ross Tran's uh, Ross Tran's sketch that he did. This is also a Ross Tran's sketch, but the design is of a friend of mine named Linda. She goes by Vampy Bit Me on social medias. Super cool, super nice, and it's a fun idea for like this mecha suit. She loves doing like these little mech kits, so that could be fun. And then I've also got this little bird here. I started this bird as part of my part of beta testing, this secretary bird piece, as part of my beta testing ZBrush 2022. So let's see. Bacon bolts. I'm not sure. Is that a username? I haven't seen that one. But yeah, so those are I think going to be the options for us for today. Does anybody here have a preference? And you'll notice, like, if you saw the Christmas streams last month or the month before, you will have seen that I essentially used this Ronald McBuda image as like my as like my pose for my Santa that I did, and that was a lot of fun. Let me see if I can get this. It drives me nuts having everything overlapped like that. Let me see, Santa. If you guys saw this or not, but this was super fun. So you can see there's my Santa, and he's got like his hand kind of on top of his milk glass, and then he's got the other one holding a cookie instead of, supporting one thing, just kind of fun. But yeah. So we got one vote for the is that the so one of Linda. That looks like it's two for the mech suit. Maxon mascot logo stomping on ZBrush logo. No. It's all partnership. It's all about partnership. All right, I think we'll make it this one then. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these. I probably will do some of those other ones at some point because I like them. They're really neat. So let's do this vampy character then. Let's say, oh shoot, there we are. Get both versions of the image there, so I get the full suit and I get the close-up. Okay, mic is up as high as it can go, so if there's a problem with the audio, it's going to be on your end. I do get comments on this every week, but yes, it's definitely on your end. So sorry about that. Let me see. I'm going to grab an image real quick from Twitter, just because I know that Linda has pictures. Like the image that, you know, Ross is great. I love Ross and his ability to pull out shapes and design and color and things like that and make everything feel really cool together. But this particular image of Linda doesn't particularly work for me. So I'm going to look. Hey, look! It must have been listening, because it pulled her right up. So I'm going to see if I can find. Yeah, let me pull up. Here we go. And there's Linda. Okay, let's see if maybe I can find a maybe I can find a version of her face that's less smiley. That might work. That might work. Let's try this. There we go. Cool. Print screen. Let's see if we can get something to look a little bit more like her. Okay. Let's go ahead. I'm going to say canvas. We're going to say optimize. Just so that way the canvas fits down to the actual stuff that we're seeing on the screen. We're going to leave it about like that. And let's get this party started. Is it a self-portrait? No, it's not a self-portrait. Let me see. You like the bird? Yeah, the bird is awesome. I'm definitely going to have to do some more with the bird. But I am a little bit of a low voice speaker. I don't like to be super loud. One, because I've got like my family, you know, in the other rooms trying to live too. Let me see. Cool. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm going to try to resize that some. Pull that over to another window. Let's get our ZBrush pulled back up. And a couple of things. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to say, you know what? I have my Pure Ref open in one window. Over here, we're going to take this. We're going to actually get rid of these, bring them over to characters for fun, and then we'll make one called Linda. Linda Mech or Vampy Mech. We'll call it Vampy Mech. That's cooler because, you know, that's her username. Now I'm trying to think. I might go ahead and let's put this in here. I might go ahead and take the head from another model just as a starting point and see kind of where it evolves to. But we'll have to see. So this is great for us for now. And let me go ahead and let's save the Pure Ref so that it shows up where I need it to be. Characters are fun. Vampy Mech. Okay. Now this one should be pretty cool because the pose is pretty neutral. So to be able to start off, I should be able to get a decent neutral pose character, and and almost be able to call it done from there, you know? So I'm going to start off with, here we go, now we got that. Let's go ahead and say texture, say import. Let's go to characters for fun, Vampy Mech, and we'll grab this full body one here. We'll say add to spotlight. You can see we're losing some spots in here, some spots where the texture is all black. So what we want to do is we want to take this intensity and we're just going to click, and we're going to click and drag just a little bit, like just a little bit, to the point where we don't have those parts missing anymore. And now we can just go ahead and say, I guess with the paint, you say Control Alt, click and drag, and that gets rid of empty space. Okay. Super, super helpful. Control Alt, click and drag. Control Alt, click and drag. And I'm just trying to make sure that I have as empty of a, you know, like as clean, I guess, of an image as possible, for the sake of being able to go ahead and use this as a spotlight image. Okay, because now I can take this, and this overlays beautifully with the ZBrush interface, you know. I don't have to worry about that blocking my image, blocking my sculpt at all. Okay, super, super nice. So now that I've got that, second thing, brush, samples, turn off spotlight projection. Top tip. Que onda, vato? Why are you streaming so late? Yeah, I'm streaming actually. Yeah, it's pretty late. The reason I'm streaming later rather than, you know, earlier in the day is just because for me this month it just makes more sense. And my Saturday morning slots got eaten up, so, you know, it happens. Whatever, not a big deal. Okay, let's see, texture, save spotlight. So we'll save this as, yeah, under Vampy Mech. In fact, let's go ahead and we'll pin this to quick access so we can get to it quick and easy. Let's bring this all the way down to the bottom. It seems to be a little bit sluggish at the moment. Okay, let's see. Vampy Mech, spotlight. And then we'll also go ahead and we will say, let's add in our other texture too. Sorry, there's a little bit of setup, but, you know, setup's fun. Let me see, let's grab that, add that to the pure ref. I'm going to delete the old one. Let's get that intensity. We'll just walk it up just a little bit. Same thing, Control Alt, click and drag. Control Alt, click and drag. It's not going to be quite as clean as the other one was, it looks like. It must have been just the way that it, well, and I think also there was a thing that he did to kind of give it like something of a blur effect. So, you know, whatevs. Okay, let's kind of shrink that down. Control Alt, click and drag that. What do I think about the Maxon merger? I'm actually pretty interested in seeing how it goes. It's one of those things that that there are so many possibilities that that will open up because of the merge, and so I think a lot of what people are upset about is that that upgrades will no longer be free. I'm coming from a background of having used this software for for over 10 years now, and It's been free upgrades for me for 10 years, and it's been amazing. It's been kind of the core of my the core of my professional the core of my professional tool set. And so yeah, I mean that's kind of a huge, you know, I feel okay about it. Yeah, yeah, really, I'm just kind of looking forward to seeing how it develops further because of the merge, because of the different things that will become available. Otherwise, yeah, I think we really just kind of have to wait and see. Uh, okay, let's jump back to this. In fact, let's kind of move her over a little bit. I don't need that long trailing piece in the view. Let's save that. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, I think that's one of the things that, to my understanding from the news press that they put out today or yesterday, something like that, is that pixel logic is not disappearing. Um, they're essentially keeping, to my understanding, they're keeping pixel logic on as the development team for ZBrush. It's not disappearing. It's not changing. It's not going away. It's just joining a team. So I think a lot of people are really jumping into conclusions that are not going to get you anywhere good. So try to hold on, try to wait, and try to pay attention, because I think that as you wait and as you pay attention, I think you might see things that you're excited about, and that you'll start to understand, like, okay, we can take this. This is good. This will be good. Um, yeah. Let me see. Just for the sake of, let's not use that. Do I have? I don't have my tool in there. So I'm going to open up another character and see if I can make her look like Linda at all. Maybe we'll start with this. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to take this. Oh, hello. The body just disappeared. Let's say delete hidden, or delete invisible subtools. It should be underneath the subtool master, I think. Let's say delete invisible. Okay, so now we should be getting rid of all of the extra pieces that are not needed. Oh no! Oh no! Why did it do that? It's okay. It's okay. Here's what we'll do. Instead of trying to delete hidden, I'll just go through and I'll actually just go ahead and copy them over to another good thing we saved our spotlight. Let's go back over to Vampy Mech. And then brush, samples, spotlight projection, turn that off. Okay, so let's see, let's say clone. Let's go over to the eyes, if I can get to them. Subtools, let's say append, eyeballs. Let's grab these mouth parts. We'll bring them over, append. And then I think I might go ahead and grab the eyebrows too. Okay. Now we have a couple of things here that I need to get rid of and a couple of things that I'll keep. I'll go ahead and I'll keep for sure the in fact, here's what we'll do. We'll get rid of, or maybe we'll just break out the body. Say split hidden. Oh shoot. Let's get rid of the subdivisions first. If it'll let me. I made the mistake of hitting split hidden before I had, before I'd actually gotten rid of the divisions. Oh, hey, look at that. It did it. Delete higher. Down one. Let's hit delete higher. That way I don't have to worry about making a new body at all. In fact, ooh, that would have been better. Let's go up. Let's hit Control Z. Control Z. There we go. Because in order to go through and make this this piece, this because like you can see she's got like some sort of turtleneck going down over her neck, and it would be much better to have that turtleneck if I keep all this solid. So instead of doing that, let's come down here, let's say delete higher. That needs to be cleaned up quite a bit, but we'll do that at some point. Z intensity down some. Boom. You see, what shows are you guys watching lately? What's piquing your interest? What's exciting to you guys lately? You guys staying safe with the virus, with the pandemic? Are things getting better in your areas? What are some things that you do to occupy your time and to help yourself stay safe and to help yourself stay connected with so essentially what I'm going to do for this is just like this. I'm just going to say split hidden. I don't really have a whole lot that I need to worry about with this particular piece. And then the rest of this, let's go ahead and solo that out. Oops. we're going to split that out too so that it's its own thing. And we'll worry about that later. For right now, we're going to take this. Let's turn off the legs and arms because we'll worry about those at some other point. Oh, you know what? Let's just keep them together. It's not a big deal. Let's take the transpose master, T-pose mesh. My brain's not keeping up with my head. Okay, hold Alt and kind of just pop it up along there. And then we'll just hit boom. So now that face is pretty well aligned with that center line. And that's a really big deal. So now what I need to do is I need to just take that and boom. Just bring her down. Now let's check and make sure that we're looking the right direction here. 90 degrees. You know what? Let's do that. Boom. Something like that. Cool. Okay, so now that we have these, we can go ahead, we can do all sorts of things with this now. So this is something that we're going to want to, oh, I thought I had my mask lasso turned on. Let's do this mask lasso. Kind of tilt that head up just a little bit. And I'm tilting that head up for a little bit for really no other reason than to make sure that I'm looking at it kind of more straight on, so that it feels more neutral. It's going to be a little bit more in pose. And then at some point we're going to have to take the arms kind of like the shoulders back a little bit, but we'll block that all in, I think. In fact, I might even get rid of the body overall anyway and just worry about having the head. I think I might T-pose to sub T. Okay, so now we've got that out. Yeah, you know what? Let's just get rid of it. Or not really get rid of it. Let's get rid of the let's hide that. I'm like a bit of a mess trying to figure things out, how I want to go about this. Mirror and weld, that looks terrible. See position, let's take that, turn that to 0. Now let's say mirror and weld. It at least looks a little bit better. Okay, well, we're not going to worry about this so much from the standpoint of creating it's getting a little bit messy in there. From the standpoint of creating something that's used as, no, I will stay as far away from DAZ the rest of my life as I can. I've had to try to use it for professional projects before, and it was a nightmare. It doesn't give you the control that you need. So sorry to any of you who are diehard DAZ fans. I hope I didn't offend you, but in case I did, oh well. You're big boys and girls. Okay, let's kind of go through and pull that up. Cool. So this, I need this to go home. Let's go down to position. Position. Okay. The eyebrows, I think I might mirror and weld, just for the sake of making sure that they are symmetrical. But other than that, I mean, it should be all right. Yeah, it looked like it was just kind of changed because of the expression or something like that. So not a huge deal. Just kind of modify that a little bit. Okay. Now let's see. I'm going to go ahead and take off all the color. And I'm going to try to make these eyes a little bit more forward facing. Mirror and weld. Cool. That worked a little bit better than I was anticipating. Okay. Now to start to make this look a little bit more like Linda. So first things first, let's start to get some of these facial structures in here working a little bit better. And I might have to go through and just restore some symmetry here. So what I want to do, let's kind of pull this over here, kind of pull her chin over, her mouth over a little bit here. Mirror and weld. It's not going to be the most beautiful of jobs here, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to get this a little bit better. Get that nose over some. What's up, bud? No te oigo. Háblame más fuerte. What'd you say?
Someday can we learn how to get virtually ready so that we don't have to do it anymore?
I'm going to leave that. That's not going to be as big of an issue for me as I could make it. What'd you say, Oliver?
Someday can you teach us how to get virtually ready? Free?
No, I'm not going to teach you how to get the virtual reality ready.
That's how you call it. Sure.
Okay, turn that on. That's correct. But yeah, I don't want you knowing how to work the virtual reality because I don't want you using it without me. Okay. What? What are you talking about? No, bud, I promise you by the time any of this is old enough to be a family heirloom, it's not going to be worth having as a family heirloom. Interesting question, though. The trick is just kind of trying to remember which side all of this goes to. Okay, looks like we're good. Okay, so that head is as good as it's gonna get. Okay, and I just wanted to be able to do that so that I had as clean of topology as I could get on the rest of the face. So let's say mirror and weld just to make. Oh shoot. Mirror and weld. There we go. Now we're good. Just so that I have something as clean as possible to work on, so I could use subdivisions to be able to add detail. Okay, let's see if we can go ahead and start working on this now. Okay, so I'm going to start by taking these brows and kind of leveling them out a little bit more. Linda does not have as heavy of brows as this character had. So I'm going to start by taking this, kind of pulling this back. She has a very bright, sunny face, so we're going to try to reflect as much of her personality in here as we can. Let's kind of get rid of the sharpness of the brow ridge here. Good enough for a start. Let's kind of go through and start working on her nose a little bit. So I need to get rid of a lot of like the bridge of the nose here. And let's grab this. Hey Oliver, please don't do that, dude. Okay. Okay. Something wrong? That's a question for a different day. Okay. Let's kind of smooth some of this out. The eyes are definitely like super wrong, so I know that somebody's probably thinking like Steven, those eyes are terrible. It's like, yeah, I know. Yeah, they're slanting the wrong direction. They're not the right shape yet, so yeah, just a little bit. Kind of give it a little bit less of a tilt, and then I'm trying to look. Let me bring her face over in here a little bit more so that you guys can see it, and so that she's a little bit more present for myself as well. Yeah, so you can see kind of a little bit of that. bit better. Okay, I'm going to say Control S. Well, Control S for me. For you, it might be a little bit different. I set my hotkeys, my keyboard hotkeys, to things that suit me. Vampy Mech 01. Okay. We're gonna have to change things like the head shape, the face shape, everything. This is like, there's so much to have to reshape here, but that's totally fine. Kind of part of the process. Okay. Now one of the things I've got to do is I've got to kind of pull the like the skin from the brow. I've got to make that kind of feel like more like it's going from the eyebrow down to the eyelid. So I'm going to figure out kind of how I do that. Is this a portrait? Kind of. I just want it to be a little bit more, like look a little bit more like the person that it's intended to be, rather than just shoot. What am I doing? What am I doing here? I need... Yeah, so I want it to look more like her because it's who it's supposed to be. And I think that, to me, I feel like it would better represent her, and it would look cooler if it looked like her, you know? So I'm trying to go through and kind of feel that out a little bit, while also trying to keep in mind what's going on with Ross's image. Okay, so some of what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this, let's take the head and just kind of lower that down. It feels like the face is kind of like tilted forward a little bit. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's turn this off. The eyebrows, the eyes, everything feels like it's going to need to be kind of replaced. But I'm going to turn this on anyway. I'm not going to worry about the eyebrows. I'll worry about the eyebrows. Let's do it. Okay, one of the tricky things is that because of the facial proportions right now, she feels way too young. She doesn't have enough chin, and she doesn't have enough jawline. So I'm going to try to kind of pull this out just a little bit. And I'm going to try to like inch toward what it is that I'm seeing here on her actual face. I want to try to even out this transition right here. Have less of a crease right there between like the nasolabial fold. That way it should hopefully be a little bit more, I guess, appealing, and help it to feel a little bit more like her. Let's go ahead and change this lip shape so that it better matches what she has. And this will be a work in progress. This is just kind of like doing a first pass. Every time I go through and do a character, every time I do any sort of project, I do a first pass, and there's always going to be a series of, just things to fix. And that's okay. It's kind of getting past that hurdle of understanding that there's going to be things to fix. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll just shrink those down just a little bit so that they still fit within those eye sockets. Okay, these eyebrows. Let's hide the eyebrows for now. Okay. And I'm going to take this. Let's go ahead and mask that. But then I'm going to hide that next ring on the inside. You know what? Here's what we're going to do instead. Yeah, no, that's good. That should be fine. Let's invert it. We'll soften out the mask. Bring that back. Invert that mask. There we go. Like sometimes I have to go through and kind of think it out a little bit. Now let's try to get the structure over the eye to feel about right. Is it an homage? No, not really. Oh wow, that got really messy. How did that get so messy? That's really bizarre. Okay, let's see if we can get this going in here. Do you want to come sit down and watch, dude?
Sure.
Maybe don't play with the vacuum cord. Do you want to wear it? Do you want to use it as a blanket or something? Just pulling out the stool. Alright. That feels like definitely way too sharp over here. And it's creating some odd. There we go. That's feeling a little bit better. Definitely need to bring that in some. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's grab these. Control A so we can mask that out. And then we'll kind of soften this area down here a little bit. Now I kind of also want to try to lean into a little bit more of that that anime eye sort of look that Ross has in his sketch. I speak a lot of Spanish. Why? I lived in Chile. I learned Spanish in Chile, and then my suegros are from Nicaragua. And so yeah. I mean, I've got half my life speaking Spanish. It's a beautiful language. I love Spanish. And I wish that there were more people in the world that spoke it because I feel like it's such a simple language. Really, really easy to grasp because once you learn what the letters say, it's really, really easy to just know how to spell things, you know? I also speak a very like toddler level amount of French. Isn't that right, buddy? You speak any Spanish? You speak any Spanish?
That's right. Yeah. I was like frozen for a minute.
What are you saying?
I was frozen for a minute.
Were ya?
Mm-hmm.
I wondered what that was. So far, something like that for the ears is all right, ish. Now, Linda has like huge big eyelashes. She always has these big eyelashes, and it's kind of fun. I definitely want to soften out some of these forms coming in through here. Soften that out a little bit. She definitely doesn't have like a hard, super defined nose bridge, so I've got to kind of play with that and take that out some as I work on it. Okay, some of this, let's kind of take that. It's always a very tricky thing to get a likeness, to get a good likeness. And so I find myself, let's try to get like the tip of that nose looking about right. Yeah, and then we'll come back to it later as we discover things. I like to call it discovering things because as you're working, you'll definitely come across things and see things differently after a while. And you'd be like, it just doesn't look right. Oh, it's because of this, or oh, it's because of that. Yeah, let's go ahead. Let me see. Careful. Don't play with that, all right? ¿Estás aburrido? Are you bored? Okay, don't be sniggling against me because I need to be able to control my arms. Yeah, I do. I met Linda in New York a couple of years ago when I was there for a sculpting competition as part of the Banpresto World Figure Coliseum. It was super awesome. She's so nice. Probably one of the most genuine people I've ever met. Just so genuine. I can't say it enough. She was so awesome. You know what? I might need to go and scout out some more views of her face, see if I can get some images of her head from different angles. But yeah, she was a part of that Banpresto World Figure Coliseum as like a kind of a commentator, if you will. They did a video series, and yeah, I mean it was fun. It was fun. So yeah, if you ever get an opportunity to meet her, you should totally meet her. And in fact, I've got a picture with her and a buddy of mine. I think on my Instagram story, like on my Instagram page somewhere, like way down. Sit back, okay? Sorry, that hurt. Sit back okay?
You almost broke my bone.
Oh, I didn't break your bone.
You made a dent in it.
Okay, let's see. Let's go through and start kind of working out some of this neck. Smooth that out some. Pull it out. That's kind of serendipitous. It's got like a little dip there. Maybe we could use that. Maybe make it so that it's got like a little seam there. I don't know. What to say. Let's do something like that. Okay, these shoulders are definitely like too hunched, or not hunched, but like heightened. Do something kind of like that for right now. And then for the character's hips, well, let's see about like kind of working down these this little crevice right here is a little bit too deep. Oops, there we go, something better. Okay. The hips feel like they're supposed to be a little bit wider, and because I'm really kind of trying to just let's take this body and let's just Dynamesh it. I should close the holes, make everything kind of nice. That is really dense. Let's really lower that resolution and then Dynamesh it. Because that'll be a lot nicer to work with. Yeah, so this is going to be the turtleneck. So this is kind of working on the body as it's moving down. So really this piece will probably only last until about right here. In fact, let's just go through and let's just cut this off. Let's use the knife lasso. Oops. I guess it's the other way. Oh, come on, you. Use a knife curve because I know how that one works. There we go. So now we got this going on, which is awesome. Okay. Cool. So now it's kind of on its way. Already on the way. Very nice. Okay. So to be able to start blocking in the legs, I'm going to turn off perspective just to, just sometimes I like to do that. I have my own IMM primitives brush, and the reason I have this is because I really don't like the standard IMM brush that comes with ZBrush. So yeah, I just go ahead and made my own. Cool. So now we got this piece here, and I'm going to start using this to kind of block in the hips. And one thing I've done before, and some of you may have been here for that, there was a character that I was working on where in fact, it might have been actually my my sculpt off piece from this past year, where I took the torso, the upper torso, and I duplicated it and moved it down and turned it into the lower torso. I'm not going to do it this time, because I kind of like where this is going so far. But yeah, let's wait for this to finish. Quick saving. Okay. So we can see a little bit more of that concept for right now. Okay, let's see. Oh, Dynamesh that. Smooth it out. And then we'll start kind of blocking in a space for the legs to kind of come out. Let's kind of work out the anatomy shape of this lower torso here. Push up the intensity a little bit. Just so that way our smooth has a better effect. Work a little bit faster. Yeah, I love this process of going through and really just kind of slowly working things up based on different forms. Just like using yeah, so the reason I guess this is kind of what I'm explaining right now, but the reason I really like working like this is it just gives me a building blocks sort of mentality. It gives me a way to be able to, oops, what did I just pick? Not that. It gives me a way to be able to literally just use like a building blocks, just piecing things together. Keeps things clean, it keeps things really nice. So let's go ahead and take this, make sure that's all one poly group, and I'm going to turn on groups for this. And let's see, let's grab bend curve. And we'll add one piece of resolution there. Kind of pull it out a little bit. This will allow us to get us a little bit more shape, and then we can just say scale down here at the end. And we're trying to keep in mind this is something that we are using for thighs. So this is something that we need to make sure that we are staying aware of. Like, what are we using these pieces for? A bit bigger, maybe. Okay, that's good enough. And then we'll just go ahead and use the gizmo. If we can find where our little gear went to. There it is. Accept. And we will scale. Okay, make sure to turn off my, turn off my symmetry, and then we'll say Dynamesh. Oops, turn symmetry back on, smooth it out. Oops. This helps if I use the right tool. Here's something that we can do. Actually, let's see. This particular piece. Let me go ahead. Let's start labeling things. Let's do this. We're going to say sweatpants. We're going to call this turtleneck. Control Shift D. Call this head. Let's bring just trying to reorganize things so that I have things in a hierarchy that makes sense. Interesting block out so far. I'm in the process of blocking out a human character myself after a previous sculpt project, so seeing this gives me a lot of helpful insight. Well, good. Good. Let's see, local symmetry. Let's kind of pull those out. I feel like her torso needs to be, well, it's like, okay, so here's the thing I'm looking at. It looks like the torso is really not super long. And it feels like I'm giving her too much butt, but let's see. Hey, Oliver. Come here. It's like it feels like the chest is really deep, like the actual rib cage section is really deep, but it's not very wide. Let's try taking that in just a little bit. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to try taking this. Okay, let's turn on perspective so we have that to work with. And then we're going to use this to be able to block in our proportions. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I'm going to open movie. I'm going to say timeline, say show. Let's go ahead and bookmark that, just so we have that to come back to. Okay. Just to be able to see kind of where things are lining up. This feels like that's going a little bit too low based on the concept. So we're going to do something like that. It's kind of hard to see. One of the things that we got now with ZBrush is this edge detect. And so it goes through and kind of outlines your whole thing. It's super, super cool. So it's a great way to be able to see, you know, basic outlines of where things are at. It can be a little bit tricky to work with sometimes, just based on the image that you're using, but it's pretty helpful too. So definitely kind of play with this at some point, because, you know, it might prove to be super helpful for you. Let's see. For me though, I think what I need right now is just opacity, being able to scrub the opacity back and forth. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the back. It feels like it might be a little bit too high right here. Hey, come here. Come here. Ven a sentarte conmigo. go ahead and use clip curve. It is really warm in my house right now. Is it warm to you, Oliver? Just gonna kind of block in this band here. And then I actually let's go ahead. Let's just bring this all together. I think I'm not getting enough of like a streamlined shape with these pieces. That's why I'm getting this. Okay. It's like, why isn't it working? It's because I had the wrong brush active. Come here, bud. You're over there whimpering and I don't understand why. I need you to just either come and sit or you can go and play. Or you can go and get ready for bed. I mean, it's about that time. Do you want to go and get ready for bed? Okay. Do you want to come and sit with me? Yeah, we're in Los Angeles and it's the middle of January in the northern hemisphere and it's still freaking warm out. Finally watched Justice League today for the first time. Yeah, anybody who knows me knows that I am like super bad at seeing movies when they first come out. It's not always because I want to wait, but usually it's just because, well, I hate going to the movie theater. It's probably my least favorite place to be when I'm, talking about yeah, it's like I just, when I'm watching a movie, I prefer to be able to watch it from the comfort of my own home, not having to worry about torrent the movies. Nah, that's super dishonest. I really hate torrenting. Okay, let me see. I'm going to start kind of blocking in some of these other pieces here. Let's grab that other, oops. Textures, yeah, load spotlight. Let's grab this other spotlight just so we can see it a little bit better. And let's take the opacity and turn it all the way up. "10-foot projection screen." Yep. Yeah, things like that are pretty epic for being able to watch watch movies. Ooh, here's an interesting idea. Okay, I need to make note of this because this could be really cool. What if the turtleneck is kind of like a sheer fabric? Because it looks like it looks like we're seeing anatomical definition down there. So we're going to tear off my old notes and okay, so let's get like a sheer fabric. For turtleneck. And then we'll have this be kind of more of like a full torso hard surface piece. So we'll start sculpting that in. Let's start off by that's up too far. Something kind of like that for right now. What'd you find, dude? It wasn't? Was it a ghost? You don't know. We're in trouble now. Okay, let's go ahead and do something like that. That's a good question. I don't know if it has backface masking. It probably should.
Daddy kind of broke my bone.
Ashley, how you doing? Yeah, I actually have. Yeah, it's actually me this time. I know that my stream was on earlier, but it wasn't me that time. This time it's actually me. You know what? Let's go ahead and kind of refine this. Oh, let's turn that off. AccuCurve. It's like I had it. Let's go back to here. We'll say load spotlight. Bring back the other one. Perspective. Why my brain is like not functioning the way that I need it to right now. Let me see. Let's go ahead and we'll do something like this. Let's grab this, and then we'll go ahead and we'll kind of rotate this up a little bit. Yeah. Let's go ahead and start blocking out some of these some of these arm pieces. Maybe. Let's go ahead and say extender. We'll just kind of pull that out. We'll say split unmasked points. Okay, so we'll leave that about where it is for this moment. Yeah, Ashley's on tomorrow. Awesome. Remember when Ashley also streamed on her own channel? Who needs that when you have Steven stream? Yeah, that's true. Who needs that when you have Steven streams? No, it's totally cool. Ashley's like one of my favorite streamers to follow because she has this tremendous capacity to just pull something awesome out of a very thin nothing, you know. Like she'll just like whip something out and it turns out being stupendous and awesome. So if you haven't seen Ashley stream yet, especially if you're just getting started and you really want to kind of figure out some really neat ways to be able to use ZBrush, I would totally recommend going and checking her out. And she's really shy. Tell her I sent you. She'll get mad at me about it later. See, I am going to take this bottom half of the leg and I'm just going to kind of extend it down. Boom. I feel so tired. All right. So we're going to get kind of like this sort of opposite curves kind of going in. So we've got like the front of the thighs versus the back of the thighs, kind of more straighter line. Although I'll probably give it a little bit more of a bowing just to give it some anatomical structure for now. I'll have to actually go through and actually refine those sorts of structures later to look more like the more like the sweatpants sort of structure. There we go. So now we have some knees. Okay, cool. Yeah, anyway, so right here, the idea, I think, will be to create this as like a sheer material so that you can see kind of the anatomy beneath, and then also have the armor on top, which should be extremely cool. I have no idea if that was the original intent that Ross had, but it's going to be cool when it's done. So let's go ahead and take a look at that, making that a reality. I guess it's not a huge deal for me to go through and really clean up that underside because it's not going to be seen based on the armor and the way that it is there. So let's say load spotlight. Might have turned off my symmetry. Yes, I did. Okay, there we go. Yeah, yeah, Ross draws. Give her bodybuilder legs. No. No. Steve is the male Ashley. He's cool and collected and mellow. Collected and mellow. Collected and mellow. Ashley is not collected and mellow. Just kidding. There you go. Kind of get a little bit more of a ridge going down there. It'd be kind of cool. Damien standard, and just kind of like build out a little bit more of like a shelf there. Oops. Do not switch. That's not what I want. Trim dynamic. There we go. Boom. Okay. Boom. Okay, let's go ahead. This should not have dynamic. Good. Good, 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 good. Okay, a lot of these hard surface pieces, a lot of times I like to go through and oh, you're mellow, Ash. She's pretty mellow sometimes. She's just cool as all. Okay, let me see. This is going to need to come. So one of the things that I'm looking at, one of the things that I'm trying to be aware of, is that if I look at her concept, okay, the way that she is in the concept, I'm looking at like, okay, so her neck is coming down, something kind of like this, and her shoulder naturally would be about here, but because of the concept, it's being stretched out to more about like right there. Okay, so one of the things that I want to kind of weigh out is how do I make the concept work with anatomy. Okay, so bringing it in a little bit and trying to figure out how that'll still feel as appealing as the concept is. So let's go ahead, let's X out of that. Because that's definitely too high and too far in. Pull that up. Pull that out just a little bit. Okay, and then elbows, they come down to about that waist. Detachable arms. Ooh. So like maybe she's got like floating arms that are just kind of like, you know, hovering away from her body. Ooh. No, no soy che argentino, pero that could be kind of fun. Maybe she doesn't have arms and these are prosthetics. It doesn't have to fit proper anatomy. Yeah, it's just one of those things that's always kind of buggy to me, that I want to I always need to fix that sort of thing, you know. You know what? We're gonna do this all very very dynamish, like. Let's do it. Dynamish it. Keep it really really low resolution so it's easier to clean up. But yeah, totally keeping that dynamish. Blame bad anatomy on storytelling. So if we get a better story, I'm off. Allergies flared up, and I want to scoop my eyeballs off. Keep your eyeballs where they are. Good luck with your stream tomorrow. I'll see if I can tune in, because that's always exciting. So one of the favorite things I learned about from Ashley, actually, she's probably not here anymore, so it's all right. I can tell you guys about cool things that she's told me. This AccuCurve thing is a lifesaver in so many different ways. I mean, look at that. Just very quickly and easily, I was able to get like a little bit more of a definition to the kind of a ridge running through this portion of the arm. In fact, let's go through and do something like this. Another thing that I've learned about actually quite recently. Let me see if I remember where it's at. Is it modifiers, brush, samples, preserve edge? This thing right here. It keeps so much better tabs on your edges, just by kind of turning it up a little bit, or all the way, It's one of those things that people use a lot with the H polish brush. I don't like using H polish brush personally, but whatever. Different people, different pleasures, right? So we'll go ahead and we'll have that on. Okay. So some of the things that I want to start building out. Oh, let's do this too. Let's take perspective, and we'll take the knife curve, other direction. We'll cut that off. Control W. Just that they're different polygroups. It's not really like a huge deal one way or another. So we have that. We also have that. That's coming in way too. Okay, something like that. Cool. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll grab that. We can also cut off this piece. Mirror and weld. Oh no, not the local symmetry mirror and weld. There we go. Okay, so we're starting to already get something of a piece that we can use for so AccuCurve is really great because and you can change its function a little bit too, but with it you have this this curve, and that's essentially showing its strength or its power, the way that it applies to the surface. So so toward the outside of the brush radius, it's going to affect very little. As you get closer to the center, it's going to really peak. Now you can go through and you can do whatever you want with these, with this curve. You can give it all sorts of different definitions, and it's going to give you some very different effects. So if you turn it on with something like the damn standard, it's going to become really. In fact, I might have to up-res a couple times just to be able to show it. It's going to come. It's getting a little bit more punch to it. Whereas if we were to take it and turn it off, it's not one that's very super noticeable. But if you look at the standard brush and how that draws out, and it's got that kind of peak going along it, it's super neat in comparison to the nice smooth round. It gets you a little bit of an edge in there. Really cool for doing stylized stylize things, and I'll use it a lot of times also for, like, if I'm working on hair, I'll turn it on for my standard brush so that I can get kind of a good corner in my hair shape definition overall. Not like a single strand thing, but it's like a general pass overall. It's really, really neat. Okay, that should be good. I'm going to take this. You know what? Let's not even worry about getting rid of any of that. Okay. Instead, what we'll do is we'll take this, let's move it all the way down to the bottom. We'll call this shoulder. Let's play with some Booleans, because why not? Control F. We'll say arm, or we'll say shoulder Booleans. Okay. Cool. So right now we don't have anything to kind of cut out of that yet, but got an idea. Let's keep this shoulder. And then we'll take this back to where we had the just that pill shape. Okay. We'll say delete hidden. Turn on negative. We'll turn on live Booleans. So now we're starting to see that shape there. Make sure that symmetry isn't going to be lost on me here. Okay, there we go. Keep polygroup flat. Crease, we'll say uncrease all. Control W. Yeah, it's a great feature. Okay, so turn on the dynamic. And we'll just place this more or less where we want it to be. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we have this. We're going to take it. We're going to place it about right there, maybe. Here, let's try this again. Mirror and weld, because it looks like it lost its symmetry. So let's do this again. Oops. Let's change up to these shoulder pieces, and I'm going to try to modify these pieces around a little bit so that they feel like they're giving me the shape that I need. I've got to kind of push and pull, tweak some things. Let's turn off the dynamic brush shape here. Smooth that out. Smooth that out. Okay. Cool. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and let's try to build like forearms. One of the things I want to try to work out. Let's load spotlight. Let's get that. No, sorry, not B. A. I need to try to decide what I'm going to do for these forearms. Because it almost feels like there are multiple pieces kind of coming off here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say Control Shift D. And what I want is to just kind of have this piece kind of coming down. Oops. I need my selection tool there. Control Shift X. Delete hidden, close holes. Up, turn off the frame. That's what I'm wanting. It's like, good grief, what am I trying to look for? Just kind of work on placement on this so that it feels a little bit better. Okay, and then this right here, you can see it feels like it's making a much sharper transition here. So we're going to probably play with slicing off part of this piece here. Something kind of like that for now. We'll have to see kind of how we deal with this here in a minute. Yeah, there are so many possibilities of things to kind of play with. Yeah, let's turn off live Boolean for a minute. We'll say split unmasked. Oh, hey, look at that. I didn't even realize I still had that head visible. Let's go ahead and say hair, just for the sake of being able to kind of block it in some. Let's see, remesher, dynamesh. Oh, take it all the way down. Okay, for right now, what I'm trying to do is trying to get like a hair base piece, and then we'll kind of build hair kind of off of that. But I like having something as like a base structure that kind of helps to treat the hairline. Getting close in there. That'll work for a little bit of a base hairline. She's kind of a cool looking character just like this. Rethon, how are you doing? Long time no see. Let me see. Brush, snake hook. Skip that until next restart. I don't need to hear that every time I... Yeah, let's go ahead and kind of pull this down and around. pull up that smooth intensity. Vimal, is that Vimal Kirkata? Long time since I've heard from you, brother. I'm practicing so I can try to get to your level of awesomeness. Kind of taking this and doing my own little take on it. To an extent. Okay, cool. Oops, that's what I forgot to do. Shoot, turn on groups. There we go, that's better. Make sure that that feels like it has directionality in there, and we'll play with it some more as we go along for sure. Let's kind of add in a little bit of that. Bless you. We'll see what we do with this. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get some of this to kind of cascade off the back here. Go ahead and pull out that snake hook again. We'll kind of pull that together. Hired Gun SG. Really like your tutorial about clean topology on ZBrush. Glad you found it informative. Thank you so much for letting me know. I like hearing that that feedback. I really like that sort of workflow, and yeah, I like being able to share those sorts of simple tricks. So I'm glad you liked that. Let's go ahead and take this, kind of wrap it over here too. Just as if it's coming from the rest of her head here. In fact, let me see, mask lasso, perfect. Just going to take this up. Is there any way to turn off the view movement with the pen? I may need clarification on what your question is there, Squirt. Turn off view movement with pen. Oh, okay. The 3D mouse stuff. I know that there's something to do with 3D mouse stuff over here. I haven't had the oh shoot. Preferences. 3D mouse. It just has like the activate or deactivate 3D mouse handling. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think you do have to be in 20. It might have actually been introduced in 2021. So long as you have 2021 enabled, you should hopefully be able to use your 3D mouse without any issues. I'm not 100% sure on that though. That might be something that you have to write to support to kind of get a better feel for what needs to happen for it to really be to function, to learn how to work it the way that you need it to work. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a really good question. If if you see Paul Gabriel's stream sometime soon, he'd be a good person to ask about something like that. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head who does have a 3D mouse that could tell you about kind of how to fix that. I do know that Michael Pavlovich often has cool things to say, and then I think Pablo Munoz might be getting into the 3D mouse as well. Yeah, I just don't think. Come to think of it, I don't think there is a way to turn off the old system or the pen navigation system. Cool. Well, so far this is coming along pretty all right. Okay, so we've got some basic hair in here. Pull that hair into its line so it feels like it's coming from somewhere. I'm not going to worry about putting in that hair clip quite yet. And one of the things that I'll probably need to research a bit more before I start getting going on it is kind of the structure for what is going on behind her. If these wings here are coming off of her shoulder pieces, or if they're coming on, or if they're coming off of something from her back. I like the idea of them coming off of her back, but it looks like they may be coming off of her shoulders. So I'll have to go through and look to see if there's anything more about what that's supposed to be like. I might have to I might have to go through and create like all sorts of booleans for that sort of system down there to make sure that that works right. Um, let me see. It's 9 o'clock right now, which means it's which means it's coming up on my bedtime. I do want to kind of be available for helping my kids get ready for bed. So what I think I'm going to do, let's say Control W. Let's say Control Shift D, and I'm going to start to slice this up so that I can create or the other thing I could do, that's gonna work. That'll work. You tied? What did you tie? Okay. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, let's go ahead and kind of unmask that bottom part right there. And then under polygroups, let's say group mask, and we'll say polish. So that way we get a nice kind of clean border, clean-ish border. Okay, Mama's looking for you, okay? What's that, dude? It's not red, it's yellow, orange. It's good, it's charging. Okay. So let me see, we're gonna kind of try to strengthen this shape a little bit. And it won't necessarily be perfect. We might have to go through and do some cleanup. But I'm going to do some Z-remesher to hopefully get this to be fairly decent. Let's mirror and weld just to make sure that's got this nice central point where it's common. Here, let's go ahead and let's come down here. We'll say display properties, hit, not flip, sorry, double. Let's grab select lasso. We will say delete hidden. Here's a question for you. What is your favorite, who's your favorite actor to portray Superman? You know, we've got all sorts of different actors that have portrayed Superman through the years. We've had Christopher Reeves, which has been one of my favorites. We've got we've got the modern day Henry Cavill, who does a great job. We had the guy who was the Atom on the DC TV series stuff, who was also, I guess, yeah. So who's your preferred actor? Superman portrayal. Yeah, it worked out decently all right, I guess, ish. It at least kept that kind of the way that I wanted it, so it's not too bad. Let's see, let's try taking it down like really far. Let's put it down. Oh, numlock, turn that back on.
And 2 sets of 8 is 16.
Good job, dude. Does not feel like that's going to work very well for me. So here's what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to go ahead and haven't watched Superman in years, but I do like quite like Henry Cavill. Yeah, he's good. Let me see. Let's do this. I'm going to say modify topology, close holes, and I'm just going to kind of sculpt on this for a minute. Here, let's say deformation. We'll say inflate, just so that this is coming out. Here, let's say slice curve. Oh boy. It always makes me nervous when quick save comes on as I'm mirror, geometry, mirror and weld. George Reeves, huh? I can't think of who George Reeves is. Do you mean Christopher Reeves? Because he's good. I really liked him. Yeah, it's always so funny thinking about thinking about Ross Tran and his pieces, his work, because it's always so extremely it's always so extremely creative, and there's always so much going on with all of it. Here, let me see. And so it's always kind of tricky to decipher some of what's going on. Huh. I'm gonna have to get a refresher then on George Reeves. That's so weird that you would have two Supermen by the same last name and they not be related. I kind of like that. I'm going to go through and kind of do like a little bit of improv as it comes to these armor panels, and I'm going to kind of see what I can discover by just kind of playing at them a little bit. Some of these things will create things that I want to keep, and some will not. But that's kind of part of the process. So as I'm going through and doing some of this, I'm trying to think also about ways that the body needs to be able to move. And a lot of what I like to do, what I like to use to be able to kind of sketch out my ideas, I like to use my Damien standard. as a way of being able to literally like draw out my surfaces. Okay, so I'm seeing on the concept there's like this little piece that kind of comes out and over like that. And it feels like there's another one kind of down over here like this. So I'm trying to draw those on. Let's try the trim dynamic. So some of these things can be things that we can draw out. Some of these things we can go through and we can just kind of create polygroups and then do, in fact, this is probably how we'll do this. I am going to, let's do this. I am going to say, boom, slice curve, sweet, that works. Oh, wrong one. Did that give me a different polygroup? It didn't. It's always one of the tricky things about this particular brush is that if it doesn't go all the way through, then it will start to kind of whine and complain, and it won't know where exactly to put that polygroup definition. So this is kind of one of the things that I try to play around with some, say mirror and weld, so that we get that definition there. And then one of the things that I would do a lot at Disney to be able to help me kind of define where we would split the rock work for rides is I would use this slice curve to be able to then come in and then split it up as close to exactly as where I want it to be, if there were places that I needed to kind of redefine that, I would. Like that wasn't really quite exactly what I wanted, so I'm just going to come over here, do it from a specific angle. And you can see like it's totally fine. Like it's off center, but what we can do, mirror and weld, and boom, we have it so that it's the same on both sides. That's going to give me good definition as I do my what's it called? As I do my ZBrush, or as I go ahead and I just create panels off of it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and say, let's isolate this purple group. Let's take that group, just like that. And since I don't have perspective on and I'm looking at it straight on from the side, it should be exactly the same on both sides. Okay. Oops, it's not giving me something like that. Nah. That's better. Okay, and as I keep going, I keep hiding little pieces. The thing that this is going to enable me to do is just go ahead and kind of take this and cut that. I'm not worried about the other side because then I'll just mirror and weld and it should be just hunky-dory. Oops, I don't want that. Here, let's say Control W. Oh, and since I had that, you'll notice that like Control W, it's going through and it's polishing that out. Let's go ahead and turn that off so that it's not doing that. Group masked, turn off polish. I just need it to be something different so that I can go ahead and hide this and then Control W to be able to make all that the same polygroup again. In fact, let's do this instead. Let's come cut that off. Cool. So now we have all these different groups here. We can even take things like this and we can kind of slice that up. I won't even bother with kind of slicing that up. It's not going to be a huge deal here in a minute. We have that. Let's grab this. We'll slice that and that. If we wanted to, we could even hold this and we could say B radius for the brush radius and slice once. You change your brush size. And boom, you have that one. Oops. Just once. Just once. And that way you get, 4 strokes that are going in the exact same direction. Sorry we never got to do rock work together. I have a feeling we would have had a great time, for sure. Rock work is one of those things that I think was kind of it had its highs and its lows for me. Let's go ahead and we'll hit our mirror and weld here. Because rock work, it's environments sometimes it can be a little less exciting than characters and things like that, so it's one of those things that I didn't want to use. So what I did is I'm using the slice brush. So Control Shift and then you can select the slice curve brush right here, and then so you can see like the gradient there. That's going to be the side that it's going to be affecting. Okay, and then to be able to make it so that it has the two lines at the same time, Control Shift and then you hold the space bar and you can go to that B radius for brush radius, and there you go. So you can get, see there's like a little thing that when I would do rock work I'd have to go through and fix it up, but yeah, it's one of those things. Rock work is one of those things. Environments are one of those things that it's never quite as exciting as I need to turn off that brush radius, as characters, for some people, and sometimes it depends on what it is that you're doing, but yeah, I think it just kind of depends on what it is that you're doing, and yeah, let's go ahead and grab that. Because some people will be completely the opposite, and they'll be like, environments are great because you have more that you get to work on instead of just working on anatomy all the time, or just working on this, that, the other, and they're everything has its merits. Leonard, yeah, for sure, it's tedious, but it is definitely more about the team. That's true. That's very true. I'm going to take these. In fact, before I get rid of anything, let's go ahead and we'll say save. Vampy Mech 1. Yeah, unfortunately we had like really cool team. over there that we got to work with too. So it's always nice. Okay. So here's something we're going to do. We're going to start off by going in and saying deformation. I'm going to mask out the green so that it keeps its form pretty well. But then I want to say polish by groups. You can see kind of the way that it's strengthening some of the planes, some of the shapes that it has. Okay, that should be pretty cool. Now some of these things like this, we can just get rid of that. Delete by hidden. Okay. Now let's give it another little polish by groups, just to be able to polish out the breastplate as well. Alright, something like that. Okay, cool. Now let's see, let's do this. Let's say edge loop, and we got group loops, we got panel loops. Panel loops is going to be really cool, but we want to make sure that we have a couple of settings turned on. This double-sided is going to do, let me see, I gotta refamiliarize myself a little bit. The thickness is going to be important. The number of loops is going to be important. We're going to turn that down to like 3. I'm not entirely sure how much of the thickness I'm going to want to have, but yeah, let's turn that on. And as you see, now we have like these separate panels. Okay, so you can see like it's super thin, and that's because of this thickness. So let's go ahead, let's take this thickness up to, let's take it up to 1. Wow, it's super thick. And it got super messed up too. So let's not do it that thick. Let's say 0.1. That's much better. And you can see it's giving me some really interesting sort of shapes going in there. So let's see what we can do with this. Let's say auto groups. We will do I want to do auto groups yet? Let's wait to do auto groups, I think. Modify topology, mirror and weld. One of the things I want to try to achieve is a little bit of like a layered look, and the way that these pieces are going together, I want it to feel like it's a single thing, but it's all been kind of pulled together like by different paneled pieces. Go ahead and hit inflate on that. In fact, maybe let's do this. Let's say inflate on that. So yeah, this is kind of what we're starting to get in here. And I think with the arms, if I want it to be kind of like these prosthetic arms, I'm probably going to want it to be like I want to show something to make it make sense. So whether that's some sort of magnetic sort of system that we can see kind of like coils coming down through her through the open arm space here, or yeah, I don't know, something to that effect. That could be kind of cool. but you know, mechanically I want it to kind of make sense, you know. It always feels better to me when it does. You know what, that needs to kind of come up a little bit higher, I think. And that can come down a little bit. But yeah, I think this is probably going to be where I land it for tonight. I know it's like super early on in the process, but you know, she's starting to come on. You know what, let's put her eyebrows in, and we'll place them, because right now they do not feel like Linda. So I need to turn on symmetry. She has these nice eyebrows, so we're going to try to make sure that they are reflected in her character. And we'll have to do eyelashes the next time I'm on, whenever that is. There's a possibility that I'll start going in and doing streams here and there on my personal channel. Not entirely sure yet. It's one of those things that really depends on schedule. I like to try to get on for the Pixelogic stream because I really enjoy the community and I really enjoy being around all you guys. So yeah, I mean, if you're interested in kind of seeing more and you know, being around when I do have my my personal streams, feel free to jump on and find me on YouTube. I am on youtube.com/smartist, and you can see my handle right down there. Pretty much anywhere you'll find me, on Twitch, on YouTube, on Instagram, Twitter, although I don't really do much on Twitter directly, so anything on Twitter's pretty much just recycled from Instagram. I'm going to try to up my Twitter game at some point, maybe. We'll see. I'm going to take these. Okay, because she has like this really nice clean shape to her eyebrows, and it might just be a matter of, that's too high. Something like that's a little bit better. It needs to be cleaned up and refined and stuff like that still, but in fact, maybe it's even best for me to go ahead and kind of just model fresh ones, because these ones have gotten a little bent out of shape. But it'll all come together little by little, but it'll come together. Cool. Alrighty. Yeah, that's where we'll drop her off for the night. You know what? Let's go ahead and let's add some quick splashes of color, just because, you know, I'm good at not ending. I'm going to go ahead and grab the color from down here instead of her hair. She does have kind of like that. MRGB, we'll say color, fill object. Color, fill object. Now, if you have your spotlight active, that's where you can go through and you can actually color pick from your image, from your spotlight image. It's super, super helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and change over to skin shade 4. Let's give it like, got to give her some color. I am. Yep. Color fill object. Love you. You know what? For this one, I already have color attached to it, so that should be just fine. Let's actually come in here. Her eyes are just brown in the, simple brown in the concept, so we'll go ahead and we'll keep that. In fact, let's do this. Let's say texture, load spotlight, spotlight B. All right, and then we'll give her like a little bit of like a rosiness. To the cheeks. Turn off Z add, turn on RGB, make sure AccuCurve is off. Turn off Z add for there we go. Something like that. We'll go ahead and we'll color this all with the mRGB, with the startup material, color fill object, and then we'll go ahead and kind of change the focal shift up a little bit so that it's.
And there's water in my ears.
There's water in your ears. Okay, let's go ahead and kind of make sure that that's kind of, and there'll be like a pattern that's kind of drawn out on here, whatever, at some point. That's fine. Just kind of sketch it out so that it's fill object. Yeah, we'll keep it like, is there like a kind of like in between? That's better. Just for now, this is all like temporary color placement. Color fill object. Okay. Cool. Yeah, close enough for right now. And then as we go on, we'll get we'll get more and more. It's one of those things though that's kind of hard to look at in color sometimes, because like if the color's only just a little bit off, like it can kind of color really changes how you perceive the geometry. So color can be kind of dangerous to work with, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's kind of where I'll leave that for now. And yeah, next time next time we kind of dig into this, it'll be quite a different little project. Yeah, so let's go ahead and hit save, and we will call that good for now. Oh, it's late. And we're good. All right. So yeah, anyways, thanks for coming and hanging out with me for a little bit. Hope you had a good time, and I hope you were able to glean something from this that was beneficial to you in some way. I appreciate the company. Thanks for coming to hang out. And yeah, I'll see you next time I see you. Smartest out.